This is Comic Geek Speak, episode 27. Thank you for listening to Comic Geek Speak. We're a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network. I'm Brian Deemer.
I'm Jamie D.
I'm Shane Kelly.
I'm Peter Rios.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
And welcome to the show. I'm sorry, I don't even know what to say. I get thrown. We just did the new sound effect there, and I'm all thrown off, and I'm like, "Oh, that sounded cool," and now I lost my train of thought. Once again, professionalism right the hell out the window.
I always thought I was Batman.
Yes. I'm gonna have to try to keep my poker face the next time we play that.
Yeah.
We have first thing on our list is we have listener emails. I want to go over. What the hell else do I want to talk about?
We have another Los Comic Geekos
That's right.
crossover.
Yes, very exciting. We're going to do a Stump the Rios, of course, as we always do.
Jamie's going to talk about, what did you say you were going to talk
It was the Bravo, the Ultimate Superhero, Super Villain, and Super Vixen
episode. Yeah, great. And near the end of the show, I'll have some important dates for June in the comic history.
I've got just a little bit of toy news later on as well.
Awesome.
Okay.
Full plate.
Sounds like a good show. So let's kick it right in here with... and since we've last spoken, I've got new email. So awesome. I'm going to have to try not to be distracted by reading the email. All right. First email we got here is from a guy named Marco.
Polo.
That was lame. He says...
I'm sure he doesn't get tired of that.
He says, "Hi, guys. Greetings from the Netherlands to start with. I've been listening to your podcast since episode 19, and I really like it. Even went back to pick up the rest of them. The really weird part is that I never bought any comic book at all. I got interested in digital animation last year, and that's why I picked up your podcast. It wasn't what I imagined it would be, but you guys talk about comics with so much passion, plus you have a very good conversation going all the time. It made me pick up interest in comics. Your knowledge about every detail is awesome. However, you could tell me whatever you want since I have no clue if it's true. The things I do pick up are good comic writer names to learn from their techniques, drawings, and storyline. Keep up the show. It's one of the best podcasts on the internet. Kind regards, Marco." Well, thank you very much, Marco.
Welcome.
And that's
Very, very cool.
That's the Netherlands. So, Jamie, now your voice has been heard in England, Australia.
We're gonna
Australia. No, that was an eBay auction I sold in Australia. I'm confusing everything.
The French Alps.
Or some Alps.
Yeah.
Were this French Alps?
Something like that.
It was something like the French Alps.
Yeah.
I think we need to start a map and put a pin everywhere we're
I
heard.
was just going to say that.
We could do it digitally. You could have someone find a map of the world and then put a little star on it every time we get an email from a listener.
Did you say Indonesia? You said Jakarta?
Yes, we had that guy from Jakarta.
Yeah.
So, hey, that's a good idea. Who wants to spearhead that?
I think I'll do that.
Okay, cool. And so when we have that, I'll put a post to it on our blog, and you can constantly check the updated map. That's a really good idea. So we're taking over the world. Well, thank you very much, Marco. And we're glad we got you interested in comics. That's our mission here, to have comic books become the number one pastime of everyone on the planet.
Yep.
Well, next to sex, I suppose. We'll never surpass that.
I don't know. Sometimes sex with comics that's pretty good too.
No, they
Right
get
back to the old Don
I
Trump.
won't pass that story
They get
along.
crumbled. Then you gotta make sure you keep the bags and boards and everything.
Not really.
Read it, I ruined it.
All right, let's see. What else did I get? Oh, hey, before we go any farther, we have a big shout out to Chris Marshall from the Collected Comics Library. He actually sent us our very first audio Stump the Rios a while back, and he stumped the Rios.
Yes, he did.
And we sent Chris a prize. Well, just the other day in the mail, I got a package, and lo and behold, there were some prizes from Chris to us just for no other reason than to share the love. He sent us two comic books. They're DC Archive samplers, world's best comics from the Golden Age and one from the Silver Age. So that's very cool. So we get a sampling of those. And then the kicker was he sent us Superman versus the Flash, 7 of the greatest races of all time, trade paperback. It's a beautiful trade. It's
Cover by Alex Ross.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome. So we're gonna all take turns reading that, pass it out, and we really appreciate that, Chris. Thanks. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It was one of those trades that I saw solicited, but just because of my usual spending limit, I couldn't put it on my order. But now I'm like, oh, great, because I've always wanted to read them. So
I broke down and bought that, and I didn't get to read through it, but I thumbed it. It's great. I love it.
I can't
it's
wait.
gorgeous.
So thanks, Chris. Look forward to your next Stump the Rios too.
Yeah, send us some more. And by the way, anyone who listens, if you're new to the show and you haven't heard our pleas, if you have 3 trivia questions for Peter, record yourself asking the questions. Or if you don't have the technology to record yourself, just email the questions to us at comicgeekspeak@gmail.com, and we will read them for you. But if you ask 3 questions that we all deem that are legitimate and not ridiculously difficult that no one would know, then we will send you a prize for Stumping the Rios. So just have some fun and send us those things. Let's see what else we got. A couple shows ago, I read a press release from Matt Nastos about his Bite Me Fanboy movie that he's doing. So I emailed him and said, hey, we read your press release on the air, and we'd love to have a copy of the DVD. So he's going to send that out. And he replied to us. He said, I just finished listening to the newest episode. Good stuff. I have to lecture you a bit. He says, you call yourself comic fans, and you don't know about the band Ookla the Mock? He says, you're a sad, sad little man, I'm afraid. Check out www.otmfan.com and revel in the glory of true comic nerdness. They're a really good band that writes and performs music about comics. If you can listen to their song, Stop Talking About Comic Books. If you can't listen to their song... If you can listen to their song, Stop Talking About Comic Books or I'll Kill You, and not laugh, then you have no soul. So, Matt, I actually went to that website, and I couldn't find... They had a bunch of MP3s you could download, and the one song you're talking about, I couldn't find that on the list. But I did listen to one song. It's all I had time before work ended on Friday, because, I only screw around on the internet when I'm at work. And... It was funny.
You and about 90% of other people in America.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, it was a funny song, and it made me. I was chuckling at my desk. People around me probably thought I was a wacko, but so I will definitely be downloading some more songs and listening to them. So I would recommend everyone check it out. It was cool.
Cool.
And I do have a soul, and I'm not a sad little man. Right, I take offense to that.
Skinny, not sad.
Yeah, I'm skinny, but I'm not sad. Here we got one from Joe Frangipani. He says, wanted to let you know how much I enjoy your CGS episodes. I always look forward to playing them in the car on my way to work. All of your features, including reviews, Stump the Rios, and Geek of the Day, are great. I'm a Philly boy, currently living in Maryland near D.C., reading comics since age 7. Back in 1974, yes, I'm old.
Welcome to the club.
And he...
That's funny that he said Frangipani, because I was going to say, before you mentioned Philly, I think there's like a store called Frangipani. I don't know if it's like a cafe
I went
or something like that.
I went to high school with some people who were Frangipanis.
I wonder if he's related to that.
Could be. He says, I think your contest is a great idea, too, and someday I may have the tech I need to make you a kick-ass promo, but right now he doesn't. He says, thanks also for your plug of DCB services. I am now splitting my business between them and my excellent local shop. Take care, Joe. Thanks for the email, Joe.
Nice to have you.
It's another customer of DCB, and I'll tell you what, I hope they can. I hope they can handle the business. Yeah. They'll probably have so many customers now that they'll start sucking because they can't keep up with the pace or something.
Nah, they'll always be great.
I'm sure that but let's see what else I got here. I think that's all of. we just one of the new emails. We just got an email from Bruce Rosenberger, who read his story about the Star Wars, and he sent us some pictures that he took of his Howard Chaykin promo poster that he got.
Yeah,
so I'm going to put those on the blog,
Cool.
and so you can check them out. If you heard our episode 25, was it 25?
It was a special Star Wars episode.
No.
you
We played his
in
Geek of the
25.
Day
Yes,
thing.
you
Yeah,
did.
it was
Yep.
episode 25. So listen to that. You'll hear his story about Star Wars, and these pictures will make sense then.
Cool. Hey, did you hear that the Tony the Tiger voice actor died not too long ago? The guy who does
that. Yeah, I caught that on the internet. They had a small article.
died May the 22nd. Thurl Ravenscroft.
Yeah,
Great.
we
last
We
went
talked
over
about
this
that on the
already.
last
Did we?
episode.
Yeah, because I did the he's dead.
Oh, I didn't know if we did. You know what? Oh, okay.
Cross that off your
Ah,
list
see,
and
it's an
stop.
old.
You need to make a new
Unprofessional.
piece
I
of paper
know.
for every episode.
I do. This
okay?
is a news one. I didn't realize we got
But
this.
tell me again, what other voice did he do? It's blank in my mind.
the
Grinch
the Grinch.
song.
The Grinch.
The Grinch
that's it.
song.
Thank you.
Yeah, Shane wasn't here. Oh, you were?
Yes, he was.
I'm
like
living
that-
like 5
Woo!
lives
Oh,
lately.
that was awful.
No
I've
one
been
will-
in Philly. I've been in Reading. I've been.
No one will get this, but it's like the time that giant man stepped over
Yeah.
on the cover.
Shut up.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about.
No, you weren't there that day.
Oh, and we got a third Stump the Rios from Tom, who
Tom.
we interviewed last show, and it actually works now.
Oh, great! So we can
He
do
just sent us the new version while we were talking to you. So
Good.
So we can actually do. We had prepared a traditional Stump the Rios, but we're going to do a listener Stump the Rios instead.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be harder.
That's right. And Tom has stumped Peter.
If
two,
he stumps me
two
on all
times
three,
in a row.
then Shane is giving me his because I need to answer something right.
What do you say? My questions are going to suck?
He doesn't have faith in your ability to construct a quality,
Oh.
difficult trivia question.
Yeah, he will. Tom will achieve the level
Yeah.
of stump master.
Believe me.
Stumpmeister.
I'm going to have to not pull. I'm going to not pull punches anymore, man. You're getting the full blown effect of questions now.
Uh-oh.
So that takes care of the emails. I really feel like I'm totally unprepared for this show. I don't know.
Why don't you just wing it?
I'm rambling on. I have 2 things on my list. We've already covered them, so I don't know where to go from here.
Well, next, I do want to remind everyone before we get into the meat of this episode, we are going to be at Wizard World Philly probably when this episode airs. We are either on our way or close to it. So if you're at Wizard World Philly, try to check us out. You'll spot us. We won't tell you how, but you'll spot us. We want to meet you, even if you've never sent an email or whatever. Just come up to us. Definitely go to the conventions if you're around. We'll also, Brian and most of the other guys will be going out to San Diego as well in July. When is that?
It's July.
July.
Yeah, the 14th through the 17th or
Right.
something. 14th, 15th. Yeah, 14th through 17th.
Yeah, 14th.
So we want to remind people about those 2 events. Next, Jamie is probably the only one of us that saw on the Bravo channel the special that they aired. Was it a couple days? Was it one day?
It was like they started on Thursday. Then I caught it Thursday night. I caught it Friday night, where they repeated Thursday nights, which was the Heroes. They did the Vixens, and then Saturday night they actually replayed all 3 of them together, with the last one being the super villains. And it was interesting. I mean, it was narrated by Adam West, so it was a nice,
Of course.
a
He's
good a good voice. They interviewed people. Supposedly they had talked to the top 50 creators and people like that, But then when you saw some of the people they talked to, you're like, huh? But I mean, it was McFarlane, Casada, Stan Lee, guys like the actor Robert Englund, who was Freddy, which made sense when you heard the villains. Just trying to think. Vivica Fox, for I guess no other reason than she's kind of hot. And
she's not doing anything at the moment.
Yeah, I didn't understand that one.
Pleading with her agent to get her any work at all.
She actually has a new show I saw a promo for, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it is. But there's a new show coming
Well,
out.
that
I think
right
it's
there
called About to
explains
Be
it all.
Canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canceled in a couple weeks. But what I'll do is I'll just run down real fast from 20 to number 5 and just see if these guys can figure out who the top 5 in each category are. I'll start with Ultimate Supervillains, which is always one of my favorites. Number 20, they had Jabba the Hutt. Number 19 was Dracula. They kind of went through all the incarnations, Bela Lugosi, Christopher Lee, up to Gary Oldman. Number 18, which I disagreed with, was the Clown from Spawn. But
they only put that in there
they
because
did that
they
to
had
kiss,
McFarlane.
to kiss
yeah.
McFarlane's ass. Bullseye was number 17. Number 16 was Syndrome from the bad guy from The Incredibles. Number 15 was The Mummy. Again, all incarnations, Boris Karloff through the new movie. Number 14 was Magneto. Number 13 was the Bond villains. They kind of lumped them all together. Blofeld, Goldfinger, all them all together. Number 12 kind of went with the Bond villains, was Dr. Evil.
Put Dr. Evil.
So these are all movie.
It's movies, comics,
it is comics?
and video games.
Oh, okay.
So, because when they did Magneto, they showed Ian McKellen, but then they talked about how he had appeared and and did that kind of stuff. They had Stan Lee talk about how he created him and so on and so forth.
Oh, but I haven't seen the list, and before we continue, all I can say is Sauron better be on that list then.
Well, we'll see. Number 11 is Chucky. Number 10, Doc Ock. Number 9, I guess kind of in a cross-promotion, but he's still one of the better Ultimate Supervillains, Dr. Doom. They kind of showed a bunch of scenes from the new movie. Mm-hmm. Number 8, and I kind of alluded to this when I said Robert Englund was talking about it, but he actually did talk about a whole bunch of other comic stuff, so he kind of seemed to know his stuff. He seemed to be a comic reader. Number 8 was Freddy. Number 7 was kind of weird. I mean, it said it was the Batman villains, but really they just talked about the Penguin and the Riddler. They kind of just had them from the TV show, and then they kind of showed Danny DeVito and Jim Carrey from the movies. So, and then they went back and showed the original comic versions. Number 6 was Hannibal Lecter. So I was kind of that didn't really go, but I guess they figure supervillain. Okay, so we have number 5 through 1. Who wants to try it?
Joker has to be in those top 5.
You would hope.
Joker was number 2.
Okay.
Well, I'm sticking with Sauron.
No.
What about Saruman?
No, there's nobody from.
Bastards.
Nobody. I will tell you right now. There's nobody on any of these lists from the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Then it's all crap. If you put Dr. Evil on that list and not
General Zod.
No.
Wow.
No. Kind
how
of
about
surprised.
Lex Luthor?
Lex Luthor was number 4. So we have 2 and 4.
Green Goblin.
Green Goblin was number 5. So we have
need
2, 4, and 5. We need number 3 and number 1.
Well, it's a supervillains, right?
Yes.
So number 1 has to be George Bush.
Some people have called him this.
The devil.
Satan.
I will tell you, both of them are movie bad guys.
How about Jason Voorhees?
No, he was not on the list.
We got 2 more.
Are they comic related? Can you give us that?
They have both appeared in comics, but not after their movies. And
Godzilla?
I will tell you, one is an elected official now.
Terminator.
The Terminator is number 3, and the other one was number 1 at the box office this past week.
Emperor Palpatine.
Nope.
Darth Vader.
You got
it. Okay.
Darth Vader was number 1. So it was Green Goblin number 5, number 4 Lex Luthor, number 3 the Terminator, number 2 the Joker, of course with Cesar Romero, gotta love him, and number 1 Darth Vader.
Oh, not the Jack Nicholson Joker.
Well, they showed him too.
Okay.
I mean, anytime you saw any of these incarnations, it was every single incarnation you ever saw. So
some of those are a bit of a stretch. Like, the Terminator was only bad for the first movie, then in the other 2 movies, he's a good guy.
And that's what they kind of talked about that a little bit, too. They said if they were going to make a second one, then talked about how cool it was that they made him the good guy in it. And it was, I really thought this was well done. This was well thought out. It was a well thought out list with not too many bad ones. I mean, really on that list, I really thought the Clown was the one that really
that one
stretched it for me.
Bit of a stretch.
Yeah, that's just to kiss ass.
The Clown and Dr. Evil, I'm not too fond of those.
Although I love Dr. Evil. He's
but great,
as a super villain,
there's no question about the love for him. Just
yeah. So okay, now
Super Vixens?
Yeah, Super Vixens. Number 20, since when they started out, they talked about what makes a good Super Vixen is lots of cleavage. We have barbed wire, which they were showing the scenes, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so in love with Pamela Anderson. Number 19, Mystique. Number 18, Red Sonja. Number 17 was Barbarella. Number 16, and I was really surprised she was this far down, was Elektra.
I'm not.
No, I really thought, I don't know, I thought she was kind of hot.
I don't find anything about Jennifer Garner hot. Sorry.
Yeah, but think about the comics too. I mean, it's all about comics too, not just movies.
Yeah. Number 15 was Emma Peel, for those of you who
from
don't
the
know,
Avengers?
for the Avengers, Diana Rigg. Number 14, they talked about the Austin Powers women, but they picked Felicity Shagwell as the hottest.
Heather Graham.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no question.
All right.
Roller Girl.
Although I'll tell you, Mimi Rogers.
Oh,
that
yeah.
first one looks super hot.
And so does
yeah.
and I love what's her name too. I can't even think of her name.
Elizabeth Hurley?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Felicity Shagwell, I so wanted my ex to dress as her for Halloween because she kind of looked a little Heather Grahamish.
Yeah.
When she comes out in that blue costume, forget about it.
And Beyonce wasn't bad either.
Forget about Beyonce.
I
I care
like
less
Beyonce,
about Beyonce.
but that's right.
She was.
Number 13 was Storm.
Oh, God! This list is anything with Halle Berry on it. Forget about it. Biggest bitch in the world.
Let's go to the comics, though. I mean, there are lots of scenes
but they
in
seem
X-Men
to
over the
be
years.
really going towards the movies first. Though. That's where it seems to be.
They kind of did go to the movies first, but then again, they talked about the comics. They brought like Quesada in, talking about her her actual background, coming from Egypt, growing up in Egypt. Brought Stan Lee in, talking about one of the first black women superheroes, and how she crossed barriers and stuff like that. Number 12.
Turn my mic down.
Number 12 was kind of an interesting one for me. I loved her. I loved the movies. The Bride from Kill Bill, the Kill Bill series.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
And she kicked ass. She showed cleavage and all that. Those were the criteria. Number 11, her name used to make my name in 4th and 5th grade a living hell. But the Bionic Woman, Jamie Summers, everybody always used to call me, yeah, Jamie Summers. Yeah, shut up. But I love the show, Bionic Woman. They did make a rather funny joke. One guy's like, yeah, she has a $12 million ear that she has to move she always had to move the hair so she could hear with it. You'd think that ear could hear through that hair. A couple strands of hair, you could hear through it. Number 10, again, another stretch, Breathless Mahoney.
Who the hell is that?
Dick Tracy, Madonna played her.
Okay.
Again, curves, all that kind of stuff. Number 9, and this one really floored me that she was this far down. Princess Leia was number 9. Number 8, and still looking so effing hot, Wonder Woman, Linda Carter.
What's funny is
she needs to be in the top 5.
So far on that list, two of the people, the Kill Bill, The Bride, and Wonder Woman, were both featured in that movie that we went to see, Double Dare, the movie about the stunt women, because Zoe Bell, the girl who was the stunt woman for Xena, who might be on that list, and also did Uma Thurman in Kill Bill, and then the woman who played what the hell was her name? I can't remember, but it's stunt doubled for
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Linda Epps.
Eppers. Yeah, and what the hell was her first? Not Linda. It was Joni Eppers or something.
Yeah, that sounds
something like that.
Okay, number 7 was Charlie's Angels, kind of an overall every Charlie's Angels incarnation, including the movies. And number 6 was Ripley from the Alien series.
Oh.
Which, she kicked
for kicking ass, yeah. For being sexy,
she always gets in her underwear in every movie.
I was just going to say,
but sometimes that's
you want her sexy, that's Galaxy Quest. Her super sexy.
I totally agree with you that.
Okay, so we're down to our top 5.
I'm saying Xena.
Number 5 is Xena.
All right.
Catwoman, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Number 1 is Catwoman.
Wow.
Catwoman in all incarnations?
All incarnations.
Okay.
They talked to Julie Newmar. They talked to Lee Merriweather. They talked to Eartha Kitt. They talked to Michelle Pfeiffer. And they had Vivica Fox talk about Holly Berry.
What about, I was going to say Batgirl.
No.
How about Jean Grey?
No.
You mean Fat Girl? That's what they were calling her that, Alicia Silverstone, because.
Oh, no, I was thinking.
I'm
from
sorry,
the
you're
original.
Yvonne Craig.
Yeah. Man.
That purple outfit.
Mom, as a kid, man, that was what I first think I discovered how women were hot. You know.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy.
Yeah. Buffy was number 3.
Okay. Faith wouldn't be on the list though.
No.
What about Charisma Carpenter?
No.
Okay.
No. These next two. One is an overall. They kind of did, and I'm going to give it to you because for you to get it.
Jane
number 2
from Tarzan
was the Bond girls. They just talked about
okay.
all of them as from Pussy Galore to
Ursula Undress.
Pusher.
to
Pusher.
Dr. Goodhead to
My name is Pussy Galore.
I must be dreaming. They showed that over and over again. That's the woman. And the number 4 is she is real. I mean, they did a movie of her, but she started out not real.
Jessica Rabbit?
Nope.
I don't get that.
She started out as a video game.
Oh, Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
Yep,
yeah.
Lara Croft,
Croft,
and
yeah.
Angelina Jolie.
Hell yeah! And anything that has Angelina Jolie on it needs to be a top 10 hot list. Something.
Yeah. So your list. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm so on board to go see that Mr. and Mrs. Smith movie.
Yeah, I agree.
So your top 5 was Xena number 5, Lara Croft at number 4, Buffy at number 3, the Bond Girls at all at number 2, and Catwoman at number 1. So that brings us to the ultimate superheroes. So I'm gonna go to the top 10, and I'm gonna see if we can get the top 10.
Ooh, all right. Well, Superman.
Oh,
Number
well,
1.
No, I'm gonna give you 20 through 10, and then we'll go.
Oh.
That'll weed out some stuff. Okay, number 20, and this one again. This was kind of a stretch for me. Men in Black.
Come on.
I mean, again, it was just for the movies, and they talked about the movies, and they were trying to talk about the comic, and I'm like, give me a break. That's number 19, Blade. So again, I thought good movies. I enjoyed the 2 Blade movies. Haven't read much of the comics, although I have all those Tomb of Dracula essentials I want to read eventually. Conan, number 18. Number 17 was Austin Powers. And again, that's the kind of the movie. Now this one is my ultimate favorite. I love the fact they put him on here. I loved his comics. I loved the TV show. I loved the animated TV show, The Tick.
Actually, that TV show was so underrated.
Yep.
That was one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. I'm Batmanuel.
I mean, Patrick Warburton.
Oh, yeah, he's perfect
You can't
for
get
that.
any better than him. I mean, just spoon. Number 15 was Daredevil. Number 14 was The Mask. And it was very interesting. They were talking about The Mask, and they were talking about the movie and how it was kind of goofy with Jim Carrey and all that kind of stuff. And then they talked about the TV, about the comic series, and it was exactly what I said when we were talking to Los Comic Geekos
Right.
about the fact that he was more of a homicidal maniac in the comics. They said almost verbatim. I was like, yes, see, I'm right. Anyway, number 13 was Flash Gordon, which, a lot of people credit him with, and Stan Lee credited him with inspiration for a lot of his writings. Number 12 was Hellboy. Number 11, again, a stretch for me, but then again, I have a thing against Mr. McFarlane, is Spawn.
Yeah, that was definitely in it.
Okay, so that brings us to the top 10. So,
All right.
so who do we think for the top 10?
Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker is number 6.
Well, Han Solo then.
Not on the list.
How about Indiana Jones?
Number 5.
And Superman?
Number 2.
Batman, number 1.
3.
Captain America.
Not on the list.
Spider-Man, number 1, I bet.
Spider-Man is number 1.
So now how many do we need?
We need number
5.
4, 7,
Hulk.
8, 9, and Hulk is number 10. So you need 9, 8, 7,
Flash?
and 4. No.
I was going to say Buck Rogers.
No.
Dick Tracy.
Nope.
Phantom?
No.
Rocketeer?
Nope.
Shadow.
Nope.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to switch into my movie vein now. What heroes
That's what
from
I've been
movies?
doing. Yeah.
I will tell you.
Did you already say Austin Powers? Yeah.
Yeah.
Down below.
In each of the ones that is still mentioned, there were parts of these stories mentioned in the other two lists.
X-Men.
Yes, X-Men was number 7.
Okay, that makes sense.
How about like Justice League?
No,
Aragorn.
no, I told you nothing from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, you meant in all. Okay.
Okay, 8 and 9 are pretty much interchangeable. I will say that a lot of people thought number 8 would have made the perfect number 9 movie, and number 4, Peter did a impression of him.
Oh, James Bond.
Oh, yeah.
Number
yeah,
4
yeah.
is James Bond, and like I said, these two movies, one is computer generated, the other one
Incredibles.
isn't out yet.
Fantastic Four.
Yep. A lot of people I know said The
Incredibles and
Incredibles was just basically had that feel of Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So the list: number 10, The Hulk; number 9, Fantastic Four; 8, The Incredibles; 7, X-Men; 6, Luke Skywalker; 5, Indiana Jones; 4, James Bond; 3, Batman; 2, Superman; and numero uno, Spider-Man.
Well, I could tell you right now, Bravo must be in league with Marvel somehow, because I mean, first of all, look at all the creators that were there, and Spider-Man number 1 over Superman. I don't know about that.
Well, I think because we talked about that when we were doing our most influential creators list, and I said, I thought people would pick the average man on the street would pick Superman as the first person they think of when they think of superhero. That might have been before the Spider-Man movies opened, but now Spider-Man is so in the forefront of every kid and every adult because adults are taking the kids to see the movies, and I just think it might have shifted.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. For me, it was kind of weird. My dad is not into comic books or anything like that, and he literally came to me and said, "I want to see you have the Spider-Man DVD. Yeah, I want to see it." And for me, that's I forced him at times to watch the Superman DVDs or the movies, but he never really wanted to see the Superman. But he came to me and said, "I want to see this movie," and that's to me that.
Those lists also seem to be very movie-driven heavy with a lot of
Sure.
their picks. So
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I will say if you see it on Bravo, watch it. It was quite enjoyable. The facts were good. I mean, it wasn't. There are times when I've seen shows like this where I know the facts are bad or BS, but it was well worth a watch. So I highly recommend it.
Cool. You know what time it is? It's time to stump the Rios. All right, in this one, we are going to go to our listener, Tom, Mr. Fusion, and let's see if Peter can break out of the funk that he's been in with listener-related Stump the Rioses.
His brow is furrowing. He's getting in the mode.
All right, let's get ready. I haven't even heard these questions yet myself, so
Channeling the Force.
let's go.
No.
Hey guys, it's Tom with another installment of Stump the Rios. Here we go. Iron Man. During the Armor Wars, issue number 226, who does Tony Stark fire?
He knows I don't read Marvel.
But he just told us in his interview last time that he only ever read Marvel, so
I
what's he going to
know.
pick from?
Who did he fire? He fired Obadiah Stane.
All right, now I haven't heard the answers, and I haven't read Armor Wars yet.
I was
But
going to say also Happy.
who's
buddy.
the Rhodes or whatever?
James Rhodes.
That's my guess, but I haven't read it.
I think it's,
If I had to guess, I'd say Happy Hogan or Pepper Potts.
well, that's what I was going to say. But
That's what I was going to say. Happy Hogan or Pepper.
Yeah.
Or Pepper.
wait, this is called Stump the Rios. Not.
Yeah, well, just got to
I'm
see if I
kidding.
can show you up a little bit.
Let's
that's
see
all.
what happens.
Answer is Iron Man.
Oh,
Number 2, Marvel Team Up, number 74. Spider-Man teams up with the members of what TV show?
Is it Saturday Night Live? Yeah, I think it's Saturday Night Live.
That'd be Saturday Night.
Oh!
And since you knew who Obnoxio was, Peter, this one is issue number 1 of Obnoxio the Clown. Who is he fighting?
Howard the Duck. I have no idea.
I think it was the X-Men.
Oh, you're right. You're right,
The
Jamie.
X-Men.
Yep, you're right.
Hope you did better on these. I will check in with you guys again. See ya.
Hey, at least we don't have to send him anything this time around.
Yeah, you lucked out. You just got that one right.
Wow.
So now you are not, totally
Close.
defeated. Yeah. But
Close.
no,
I mean, because it still was a guess. The Saturday Night Live was still a guess.
hey, but you saved yourself in the end. That's
Oh,
all
wow.
that matters.
Tom, you're good. Phew, safe. What do we got next?
I guess.
I can spout off a couple toy things
Hit
coming
it.
up.
Go.
For Palisades is coming out with Adult Swim action figures. They're coming in 2 packs featuring each of the cartoons that's featured on Adult Swim. They are shipping now. I myself am not up on Adult Swim cartoons, but I do know that C-Lab 2021 is one of the 2 packs. And there's also a variant, which I may get these just because of the title of them, with the Evil Universe Adult Swim characters. Also coming up in our area is Wizard World Philly, so get your Super Grovers and Frog Scout Leader Kermits. Remember, there's 2 packagings of them.
How much is the Super Grover going to
Super
cost?
Grover's $25. It comes in a big-ass box with
is
a
big,
gorgeous Alex Ross cover.
I wanted to get it, but I was hoping to spend like $10.
Comes with a beautiful phone booth that if you have a Superman figure that fits in would go great. Also, there's something they announced, limited I think to 500 pieces, is Buffy the Vampire Slayer Pals figure of Spike. And I cannot remember which incarnation of Spike, but be sure to pick that up as well. I think that's either $5 or $10. I don't know off the top of my head. That's about it for the Wizard World stuff that I know of. It seems to be a very lean year for exclusives from there rather than other years. What I'd said earlier about the Frog Scout Leader Kermits is the Frog Scout that comes with him comes in green and blue, so for all you completist variant fanboys like myself, get one of each. But they are blind packaged, so you cannot ask for one of each. You just get it and hope you get it.
Hey, when do the Sesame Street figures start coming out?
They are slated for fall to winter, but most likely it may be pushed back till the beginning of next year.
Good. That's what I want to hear.
They were solicited already, so I'm thinking that they might hit before Christmas, but I think it'll be just before Christmas. It seems that the best laid plans of Mice and Men, just with everything that's released, usually gets pushed back at least a little bit.
I'd like to get those ones that form the facade of Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Even if it's just so that my kids can see them whenever I have kids, and that would be kind of cool.
And they seem to do a really good job of melding together all the different incarnations and changes. So through the years, they tried to pick the best of everything and put
That's
it together. I'm thinking, I don't think there's anything really new with Star Wars. We've covered that to death almost sometimes, I think. But keep an eye out. Target still get every now and then those Target exclusive super articulated clone troopers that everyone is raving about. I myself have a couple of them. And even just the regular number 41 super articulated clone trooper, I have about a dozen of those that I'm just waiting to make into an army. There's a Toys R Us exclusive Anakin's Jedi Starfighter that's out now. It's the version that's towards the end of the movie. It's nothing super special, but it is a nice piece. Later this year, there's Obi-Wan Starfighter that is coming out as well with an Anakin figure. New Justice League Unlimited 3-packs came out.
Oh, I saw some of those. Those are nice.
One of them features Booster Gold, one of my favorites. It's not Atom Smasher. I was thinking Nucleon, but it's Atom Smasher. And who's the other one? I'm drawing a blank on that third one. Hawk and Dove with Wonder Woman from the episode. Those are very episode-themed packs. And then I imagine with this series there's also going to be one that's in the 3-packs that's not available in the single packs, and vice versa, one with the new wave of single packs that's not available in the 3-packs. I'm hoping that they go through with the Booster Gold single pack so I get Skeets. Yeah, Metamorpho I would think would be in there. I guess that's about it with toys. It's kind of a lean week. The Fantastic Four stuff's starting to hit more and more. There's 3 versions of Invisible Woman: fully clothed, half invisible, and completely invisible. The fully clothed line didn't sound too good, but
I
guess
thought you were going to say
get the
fully
gist.
clothed, half naked,
Half naked and
topless,
naked.
and full,
You just
buck naked.
just take the Sin City figure and kind of meld that together.
All right. Well, we got. Thanks, Shane, for that update. It amazes me how much crap you know about toys.
I know.
It's mind-boggling. We got another crossover question from Los Comic Geekos. So we're going to play that now. We haven't listened to it yet.
Esto es Comic Geekos. Hello, Brian and Pete. This is Omar Egan over at Los Comic Geekos. And together, again, at our studio, we have Tico Man.
Hi, how you doing?
We have Brito Man.
Hello.
And we have Roberto via Skype.
Hi.
And that's all you're going to hear, Roberto, because he's giving us this weird feedback in our mixer.
He's in another world.
Yeah,
we finally found him after the last crossover.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Julius is not here. He is on a special mission. Protect his ladies. And
His women. His daughters.
his daughter and his wife. In any event, we have something very special for you guys. The third crossover question now. We thought we would do is we will ask the question in Spanish, and then we're going to translate it using Babelfish.
Yeah, we're gonna try this out to help you out, see if it works.
Yeah, right. And if that makes no sense at all, then we're gonna go ahead and translate that into English. So, Brito Man will read the original question in Spanish.
Ok. La pregunta es: ¿cuáles personajes o historias de historietas les gustaría ver convertidas en película?
Okay,
Something
I pause
about
it here.
the history.
The question is, which people
In history?
throughout history and the movies do we like in the movies? Something about throughout history, which people do we like in the movies?
Is it
or something?
directors, maybe?
So let's
see what it's-
get their translation here.
Aha.
Okay, so we're gonna...
And Tico
Translate, hold
Man
on.
will now translate with the Babelfish.
Okay, let's see what came up. The question is, as personages or histories of comic strips they would like to see turn film...
Oh, what happened?
Oh, it cut off. Perhaps it didn't download all the way or something. Crap. Well, I'll have to download that again.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
which ones would we like to see turned into movies that haven't?
Which comic strips or I guess comic books?
Right. Well, that's a good question.
That we want into movies that haven't been?
Yeah, that haven't been all of them.
Yeah.
Just make them all.
I would like a good Justice League movie, but
Yeah,
that's a bit much to ask for.
I don't think it's too much to ask for. If Warner Brothers owns all the characters, there's no reason they can't do a movie with all of them. And I think what they have to do is they have to put away this vision that they have to get big names for all of their characters, and so they don't need...
Yeah, like what they did with X-Men.
Right, you don't need 10 huge actors to fill all those roles. Just get 10 nobodies and make an awesome Justice League
Now,
movie.
I agree
the only
with you
thing I
there.
have to ask, though, is because even though they all are owned by Warner Brothers, is it more expensive to put Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman in the same movie than it is to put Cyclops, Jean... Because they're all grouped under X-Men. But Superman, that's not. So I wonder, is there some of that? Is there some legalities in that, or is it more expensive?
I would
don't
think
know.
it'd have to be. They're the big three, and they've been...
Yeah, I mean, because you got to pay their estates.
Right.
They're still owned by Warner Brothers, but I assume you have to still.
But then again, there's all sorts of underlying rights issues. I mean, just on the Justice League cartoon alone, when they did that one episode in the first season, crossing over with what should have been the JSA, they couldn't even get the rights straightened out for that.
They can't use Blue Beetle. They couldn't use
Right.
Blue Beetle, and yeah.
But they
that's-
have the right. They use them all in the cartoons, all in the same episodes.
They use them in the comics as well.
So what difference would it make?
I don't know. I would love to see I know they always talked about it, but a Starman TV series I think would be great.
Especially when James Robinson was talked about being involved with it.
Right. I think Sin City would make a great HBO series.
Here, hang on. I downloaded it and I'm going to play the rest of it.
Film.
Oh,
It works. I get it.
Right, it works. So we'll leave you with that. No. Okay, Roberto, do you want to read it in English? Translate that for us in English?
Puchica, si no.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, puchica means like, what?
The hell?
The hell?
No, we'll just say it in English.
Yep. And basically what we want to ask you guys is...
It's kind of related to the last one.
Yeah, it's kind of related. It's which is the favorite storyline or character that you would like to see turned into a film?
Yeah, we're looking for stuff that's not been announced yet, maybe.
Okay.
Or stories that you liked
that you guys think would work great as a film.
Yeah, great movie.
Or that you would want to see on a film.
Yeah, so let us know about it.
Yep. Let us know. And if you can talk a little more Spanish, it would be great. You can use the Babel fish.
It works.
All right, guys, take care and hope to hear your answers soon.
Well, if we're going to do that, if we're going to talk in Spanish, we got to hold off for another episode or so. I mean, we'll talk about it now. But
forget. Yeah, well, I mean,
we can do that. It's just going to take us a little more time.
I've apologized before, but I can't. You don't want to hear the Spanish that I'd have to say. I mean, it would be all. Let me think. Which word is that? Okay.
Me gusto.
¿Cómo se dice? It's.
You might get a word out of me.
Yeah.
I mean, like I
we
said,
promise. Los Comic Geekers, we promise. The next question we will ask in Spanish.
Okay.
I'll find somebody in my family will be here, and we'll do that.
¿Dónde está el baño?
There you go.
Okay, there you go. That's pretty much. I can ask where the bathroom is.
I know all the Mexican slang,
Right.
but I don't know the El Salvadorian
I
slang.
can curse you out in Spanish, but so it can't be anything that's been announced or maybe even in production, even if it didn't come out. What would you pick?
I would personally. I mean, if you've been listening, you know I'm a big Avengers fan, but to me that's just too big. So I'll go for a really good Captain America movie. I mean, I think his story translates so well. I mean, you can have the flashbacks to World War II, show how he gets frozen, all that kind of stuff, and bring him into the world as is today. Kind of do a storyline like they did when they rebooted him with the John Cassidy story. Kind of bring him into the world of Al Qaeda and Osama bin Laden, and bring him in. I mean, even if they would revive him right now, right after 9/11 type deal, you could almost do an Arthurian legend type thing where he came back when he was needed or something along that line. But I guess that kind of sounds a little gay. But a really good Cap story is what I would love to see.
I'd love to see a good Flash movie.
Well, they're talking about that.
Are they?
David Goyer.
Oh,
is
yeah,
writing.
he's
He says
writing
it's a really
something.
good idea.
Right,
and in
then
fact,
go ahead.
I was going to say before you go on, they are doing a computer-generated or animated Ultimates. I think something like that they were talking about. 'Cause remember,
I hadn't read that.
there was an announcement that they were looking for people to send in a tape of their own voice work to see if they wanted to be voice actors for an Ultimates
that's cool.
movie. So
I'd go with Nightwing or a Teen Titans maybe. I'd like a Nightwing, but I don't know how you'd really do it these days.
I'm a selfish, greedy bastard, and I want to see these big budget team movies. Like, I want an Avengers movies just like I want Justice League. And I think the beauty of that is, you can have 3 and 4 sequels, and you can have different characters in each of them. You can keep a couple of the same ones, but if you got a big actor who plays Iron Man and he doesn't want to sign on for 3 movies, well, fine. Then Iron Man's not in the second 2 movies, and you have Hawkeye, and you have somebody else. I mean, there are so many Avengers. That's what's the great thing about reading Avengers. It's like a big soap opera. You never know who's going to be in what issue because there are literally almost hundreds of Avengers, and it changes constantly. Avengers could almost be like a big budget HBO TV show where it's just constantly changing cast of characters, and that's what I would love to see. I'm tired of the solo movies. It's too easy to do.
And that's almost what seems to work with the Justice League cartoon. They feature different characters every time, but still there's that underlying theme through all the shows.
Exactly, and I think that's exciting and cool.
yeah,
I'm trying to think, and I mean,
I would love. This is kind of going off the mainstream of superheroes, but Invisibles by Grant Morrison. I would love to see because that's like a mixture of like X-Men and Mission Impossible with high concepts and great time stories, like Doctor Who-ish almost. I would love to see that.
Go ahead.
If you're going to talk, because I've been trying to rack my brain as to what storyline I would like to see, and when you said Invisibles, Vertigo kind of clicked in. I'd love to see a version of Seasons of the Mist storyline from Sandman. It's still one of my favorite all-time comics, and I would just love to see what they could do. Because I really liked the John Constantine movie, and I thought they kind of set up some nice things with that, and I just love to see what they would do with that overall storyline.
Yeah. Oh, I know something that would make a absolutely perfect HBO series would be Preacher.
Oh yeah.
You can take the whole Preacher storyline could be broken down, probably fill like 4 or 5 seasons of the TV show, because Preacher reads pretty fast, so if you translate it onto that screen, like sometimes just one of those trades could almost fit in a whole hour episode.
But you could have some really great sequences of like car chases and
you stretch it out and everything, and that would be awesome as an HBO series. And then the other thing that I thought would be cool, if you talk about just a specific storyline, is if you took Cerebus, maybe High Society. That's the second trade, and the first one establishes the character, but then the second one is what really starts to get into the meaty Cerebus stuff. And you could do Cerebus as a kick-ass CGI thing, just like a Yoda or a Gollum.
Yeah.
And then and the rest of it is all real actors and everything, and it would be intense because it's all political and everything, and then also funny because there's lots of comedy in it. And I think that the audience would be about 6 people. But for me, I'm one of those 6 people who would love to see it if it was done true to the book.
I think you could do Matt Wagner's Mage. You could probably do that.
That would be a good one.
I don't know, maybe not a movie, but again, like Showtime or HBO.
Yeah, Grendel, put in, just his Grendel series, with the movement towards space operas and stuff like that, space movies, even Legion of Superheroes movie, and you're right back where you're talking about, Brian, with a bazillion strong cast that you could just keep interchanging and just bringing in new Legionnaires and so on and so forth.
With a sci-fi thing, I'd go for a new Buck Rogers or Adam Strange.
Yeah.
I mean, it's anything that we've read in
like
comics.
Like you said before, everything.
Right.
We want everything.
Yeah.
That's
tough.
tough.
I mean, we really have to think about what hasn't been out there before. That's
right. Yeah, because you mentioned Preacher. You know who was once tied to that was Ben Affleck as Preacher and Cameron Diaz as Tulip.
See, that's a total joke. See, you know who you need.
It was like, oh.
What you need is Robert Rodriguez to go sign up with HBO to do, a season of Preacher.
Right, because he'll do it right.
Because he'll do it right.
Yep.
And that's, or somebody along those lines. But I'm greedy and I want it all. But I'm really begging him. I think the only one who's going to be able to give it to us is going to be DC with the Justice League movie, since they own all the rights to all the characters, and we'll never get it from Marvel because they're pitching, and I don't understand.
They're all over different studios.
Everything's a different studio, and so we'll never get a Spider-Man Daredevil crossover because they're different studios, and or whatever. It's just like, it just drives me nuts. I mean, I know that not every studio wants to option all these movies, but you'd think that one of them would see, hey, we're making a lot of money. Like Sony made billions of dollars on Spider-Man, so why didn't they just go, okay, from now on, Sony, we want all Marvel movies that you're going to do from now on. We'll just take them all. We'll just tell you that right now, and then we can have crossovers, and we can make even more money, and that would be a good thing for us.
I wonder if these team ones are waiting to see how FF does, since that's kind of the first team.
No, because we already had X-Men.
Oh, and that was very successful. And I don't know, but that's a good question, though. The specific storylines, I'm anxious to see what these guys say for specific storylines, because they
obviously thought
they
about
love about
a three movie series of Crisis.
Oh, jeez. I'll be the only one in that movie.
Yeah. They'll have to give Advil out for your headache when you're trying to understand the.
It'll be a playbill. It'll just be, read this and then watch the movie.
Cliff notes to come with your ticket.
All right. Final thing.
We're
going to talk about some important comic dates for the month of June throughout history, and I'll try to breeze through. As always, comment when you see fit. We have June 8th, 1910. C.C. Beck was born. Anybody know who that is?
Created Shazam.
We have June 1st, 1938. This is an actual date of June 1st. Action Comics number 1 hit the stands. First appearance of Superman.
I don't know. Worthless.
Zatara the Magician and Tex Thompson. We have June 19th, 1940. Brenda Starr, the news strip started. That was the first cartoon strip by a woman. We have June 9th, 1954. George Perez was born in South Bronx, New York.
Chump.
We have
Peter's going to rip your head off across the table.
We have June 22nd, 1958. Not 1972, but
good.
1958. I'll let you know. Bruce Campbell was born.
Nice.
Darkness. We have a cover date of June of 1963. My Greatest Adventure issue 80 was the first appearance of Doom Patrol. The real Doom Patrol, not the Ultimate Doom Patrol that's out right now. Sorry, Jamie. We have cover date of June 64. Cover date of June 64, Brave and the Bold 54, first appearance of the Teen Titans. Cover date of June 1965, Amazing Spider-Man 25 was Mary Jane Watson's first time her face was seen in a book. June 26, 1970, Chris O'Donnell was born.
What the hell? Well, get that off the list.
You got it. Yeah, it's superhero related.
Oh, not really.
Cover date of June 1972. Luke Cage, Hero for Hire #1, first black Marvel character to receive his own self-titled series. June 22nd, 1972 is the birth date of our very own Shane Kelly.
Yeah. I like that I share Bruce Campbell's. That's cool.
All right, how about this? June 27th, 1975, Tobey Maguire was born. Is that better?
That's better than Chris O'Donnell, for God's sakes.
June 19th, 1981.
But he embodied Robin. I mean, he was the Robin.
Keep going.
June 19th, 1981, Superman 2, the movie opens. Cover date of June 1985, Saga of the Swamp Thing number 37 is the first appearance of John Constantine, so he's going on 20 years. Cover date of June 1986, Man of Steel #1, John Byrne's revamp of the Superman mythos. And it's also the first comic to sport a variant cover.
Really?
So we can blame him. Cover date of, let's see.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah. Not a cover date. This is June 5th, 1987. Two actors dressed as Spider-Man and Mary Jane Watson were married at New York's Shea Stadium in front of 55,000 fans.
That's as bad as Star Trek people getting married on stage, man.
I
don't know I could do that.
Well, that was a promotion for Spider-Man and Mary Jane to get married in the comics. So,
but they actually got married, licensed?
No.
Okay.
It was like a big thing. June 23rd, 1989, the Batman movie opened. We have June 15th, 1990, Dick Tracy opened. June 21st, 1991, Rocketeer opened. Let's see, we have June 16th, 1995, Batman Forever opened. June is a big movie month, isn't it?
Well, yeah, summer movies.
Yeah.
They're doing it all for me.
June 30th, 1995, Judge Dredd opened. June 7th, 1996, The Phantom opened. June 14th, 1997 was the final episode of Lois and Clark. We have just a few more here. June 17th, 1998, Hulk 467, Peter David's final issue.
Not really.
After his 12-year
After his
run.
10-year run. Or
10, 12. This is an actual date again. June 23rd of 1999, JSA #1 begins. JSA, the series begins.
Beautiful.
June 26th, 1999, Harley Quinn Smith, the baby daughter of Kevin and Jennifer Smith. She was born.
That poor girl when she gets older, though.
Yeah.
No one will make fun of her.
June 13th, 2001, Starman 80 hit the stands. That was James Robinson's final issue. Well, that was the final issue for the series. Now here, June 26th, 2002, this comic hit the stands. Spider-Man Black Cat #1.
2002.
June 26th, 2002.
Wow.
And we still haven't got episode...
waiting for that.
Issue 4 isn't out yet.
Ay. June 11th, 2003, Graduation Day #3 was the death of Donna Troy. June 20th, 2003. 2003.
Hey, suddenly I'm from the Bronx or
wait.
Brooklyn or whatever.
the Hulk movie opened, and finally, June 9th, 2004, Identity Crisis #1 hit the stands. So we're here almost a year later.
Wow.
And they're still doing a pretty good job rolling on that momentum.
That's great.
Okay, well, that is going to wrap up our show for the day. By the time you listen to this on the blog, which is comicgeekspeak.blogspot.com, I will have some pictures up of those of us behind the scenes here. We had a birthday party for me a couple of weeks ago, and we took some pictures. And also I have pictures of my birthday cake, which was awesome. My wife is a cake decorator, and she did this.
A cake decorator extraordinaire.
Yeah, and the baker, too. So she made a special orange chocolate cake, because I love orange chocolate.
Delicious.
It was awesome, and she decorated the hell out of the cake, put the Comic Geek Speak logo on there, put the Flash and Batman, Speedball, and Gru.
Speedball, which I was choking on.
Mouthful of Speedball.
Yeah, a couple episodes ago, you'll hear a reference to that, so now you get the whole thing.
Yeah, and so those pictures will be up so you can see our ugly mugs. And
join the forum.
Send
in your Geek of the Day.
Your Stump the Rios. Send us lots of email.
Contest entries.
Yeah, well, by the time they hear this, the contest will be over, and probably the next episode we record will hopefully be announcing the winner. And that's all.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.